Welcome back. In this session, we're going to learn about the art of repousse. Repousse is when you take a thin sheet of metal foil and use various tools to tool the surface of it to make some parts come forward and some parts fall back, and to create kind of a three-dimensional image in a piece of foil. So things that we're going to think about on this lesson are creating a picture. Within creating the picture, we want you to think about line, okay? And how can you use line to create and show space? So whether it's a three-dimensional illusion like this, where you can create something that looks three-dimensional, or how you use line to create repetition. So let's say it's the repetition of these lines creating the tower, or the repetition here in the top of the tower that creates the shingles, or maybe the repetition of the wooden lines on the door or these stairs in front. So how can you use the element of line to show those two things? Also, I'd like you to think about the element of shape. Shape you can use to create patterns. For example, here with the windows, I've created window patterns. I've created patterns with the doors. You could also create patterns with other things, saying like the brick here, or maybe the zigzag pattern up here. So how can you use shape to create pattern? A couple more things I'd like you to think about is balance and variety. These are principles of art. With your balance, are you going to have a symmetrical picture like mine, or do you want to have something asymmetrical, maybe one tower here and some other things on this side to kind of balance it off? And how can you have a variety of things, maybe a variety of line, a variety of shapes, a variety of texture, and how can you include the idea of variety in your picture? And last, that last part there that I had was called texture. And how do you create texture? Your whole picture is going to feel like something. It's going to have texture because you're going to be actually making a three-dimensional form. The surface, if you were to like cut this in half here and look at a cross section, you use your tool in repousse to push out pieces, and then maybe from the other side create a valley by pushing in here and pushing out farther, so that you have these peaks and valleys of the metal that actually create the picture. So today you're going to start by making a drawing. In our PowerPoint we saw today, we looked at a variety of different architectural styles. This particular building that I created is not a real building. I kind of took a couple different styles. We took the rose window from Gothic churches in Europe. I took Ionic columns from the Greeks. I took little windows here from Renaissance architecture, and then the rest of it I just kind of pieced in with different lines and shapes. Your goal is to make a facade, which is the front of a building. All right, so this facade I'm going to set aside, and we're just going to work on a new facade. The new facade that I'm going to choose to do is something resembling the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. All right, if you want to find pictures on the internet or other pictures, you may use those as inspiration and change things around so they're your picture, but you may not copy anything or plagiarize. But you can use any building in the world to base your idea off of. This is actually a photograph I took, so I could copy it because it's my photograph, but I'm going to change things around just for the style of changing things around. So here we go. This is kind of the picture that I drew. It's a little on the light side, sorry for that, but I'm going to try to kind of redo that picture. Notice I have symmetrical balance, so I've decided to use symmetrical balance. I use a variety of curved lines, all right, for these roofs. I use a variety of straight vertical and horizontal lines. And the way you want to put this together is think about filling the whole space. So as you start, if you don't finish in class, you're going to make sure that you do this for homework. All right. So as you draw lightly so you can erase things. This is not final, but it does need to be on a 5 by 7. This is 5 inches by 7 inches piece of paper, so that it will fit right on top of our metal next week. All right, so make sure that you use that correct piece of paper and take that home to finish. All right, so here we go. I'm going to just do this curved piece here and then the straight roof that goes along with it. I'm going to do the curved piece here for the next roof down. and the straight piece that goes along with it. And I'm going to leave, I'm going to put it in, this little curved piece here that was another roof, and the straight piece that goes along with it. Alright, and I'm kind of putting them on an angle because I want it to be a little more dynamic. I don't want it to be exactly horizontal. Alright, and I'm going to put the little side here, and then I'm going to put, I'm going to change it a bit and just do one big diagonal, and I'm going to put this colonnade right here. I'm going to put it down here so that I have one in the center. Whoops, I want that a little bigger. One in the center, and then kind of two on the sides. And one even going off the edge there. Alright, because I want to have that be an odd number, but I want to have it be pretty balanced as well. Alright, now I want to make sure that I get my minarets in. Okay, the minarets are the little towers here. So I'm going to do the point for my tower, and then the straight lines down for it. And then I'm going to put on the little calling platform like that and put on that piece. I'm going to put this one over here, and I'm going to eventually have to overlap these. So I want to pay attention. Notice I'm figuring out that they're about the same size here. I'm figuring out right now just where they're going to be, but then I'm going to overlap them and erase and stuff like that as we go through. So here's my tower like that, and then I'm going to put these side towers in kind of to fill this space, and I'm going to actually make them a little shorter, and they start kind of octagonally like this, and then I'm going to draw down, and I'm going to put the little rounded cap on like that, and I'm going to make it about the same size so it's nice and symmetrical, and those are octagonal as well. Alright, put that little cap on. Alright, now I'm going to just kind of end this one here. I'm going to end this one down there. I'm going to let that one run in there, and then I'm going to put my little minarets in the back. I'm going to start this minaret here, and I'll make it go down here. And we want it to point like about here. Alright, and when you're making your composition, you're having to think of, how am I making straight lines? Are things going to be the same size? How am I going to have things overlapping? And all that kind of stuff. Alright, now I've got the basic form in. Notice it's not really symmetrical. Okay, I've got the two on this side, the two on that side, but they're ever so slightly off, which is good. I'm going to put the little half moon up here. Going to put the little details up on top of these two minarets. Alright, I'm going to put the curved lines in here and curved lines in here to give that illusion of a curved dome. Okay, then on the sides here, I'm going to throw in a couple windows that aren't originally there, just because I want to have that follow through. So you can see on this original picture, it's got the curved windows here, but there's no windows on the minarets. But I'm going to put those in. You can see that the minarets have the little things on the top, and I'm going to make sure those are there, but I'm also going to put a few windows in here. Okay, there's a window, here's a window, here's a window, and here's a window. Okay, then I'm going to put my windows in the center here. I'm going to put one in the center to show it's the center, one in the center, and then I'm going to make those a little smaller as they get closer to the edge to give that illusion that they're going around the curve. Okay, so to finish your homework, you want to make sure you get all your drawing done so that when you come to class next week, you are ready to go with your drawing. You don't need any more time on your drawing. You are going to have get the Repousse metal passed out to you, and then you're going to be able to just start right there and get your metal going out. Okay, so you need to have it on your paper like this so that next week when you come, we are able to tape it right on top and do the next step. So your homework is finish a drawing, use line, shape, variety, balance, think about the principles and the elements of art and how you can put those into your Repousse facade.